today.
All right, let's get to the brackets, Cone. I'm super excited.
Let's do it, man.
All right, let's start. I'm going to start. Let's put up the South region. Let's throw up I wish I had that like Tony Stark thing I could do with my hands. All right, number one, Alabama, number one overall seed. I got no problems with it. My biggest problem was Kansas and Houston, which we're going to get to that. But people are saying, oh, this is the easiest bracket to navigate. I would hold my horses a little bit, because what have I been saying? If you're Alabama, what's the team you don't want to run into? The team that slows the game down, that can rebound, that has experience, and maybe a couple shooters. Well, guess who that team is? That's San Diego State, all right, that's sitting there at the 5 seed. I'll get to them in a second.
And Virginia.
If San Diego State and Virginia plays, that game may be 14-12. Like, I'm not even kidding. These teams are almost mirror images of each other, even though I think San Diego State is a little bit more athletic. But Alabama has to be the favorite to go through the region right now. But it's not exactly a walk in the park. There's some really, really intriguing games. These 8-9 games throughout the whole tournament, they did them perfectly because they're supposed to be a coin flip. I don't know. Man. Maryland and West Virginia,
so
Arkansas and Illinois, Auburn and Iowa. I mean, you might as well just close your eyes, except for the Auburn and Iowa game. Auburn will definitely let me down. But Alabama has to be the favorite. Go ahead and give me, guys, starting with you, David, give me your dark horse. I'm not talking about somebody, like Virginia or something like that. Is there like a seed, maybe we'll say 6 or higher, that you think can win this region?
Just out of this region right here?
Just out of this region.
I'm looking at NC State at 11. They're going to open up with Creighton, who's the 6th seed there. If they get past that, you're going to probably face off against a Baylor team, which is very beatable.
They are. And again, Baylor struggled in the NCAA tournament a little bit.
So, again, when this was the first region to get announced, and when they were going through it team by team, I was thinking, man, this might be the toughest region. Like, this is going to be difficult. This is so balanced. And then that's the way every single region ended up being. Well, it was fun to watch.
I think that goes back to the parity in college basketball this year.
Exactly.
I think that's what that goes back to. All right, so you're saying NC State is your favorite Alabama? Are you pretty much going
to come out of the region?
To come out of the region?
They're so talented. They're so long. It used to be with Alabama, if you could get Bediako in foul trouble, you had a chance. Now you got Clowney at 6'10", Brandon Miller at 6'9". They figure out a way to win in so many different ways. It's going to be tough to beat Alabama. I'm just telling you.
I agree. Kind of looking at this region, it's hard to say anybody really, got screwed or misseeded. I think the seeds were pretty well done in this region with the teams that they had. Blaine, with you, who is your dark horse, 6 seed or higher out of this region?
Give me the Wolfpack.
NC State too? Y'all are both feeling Terquavian Smith?
Yeah, I mean, you got a big in DJ Burns Jr.
And also Jarkel Joyner, the Ole Miss transfer at guard for them. You talk about two guys that when they get hot, first off, I trust anybody named Terquavian that's shooting a basketball.
Smart
Number
man.
2 is Jarkel. I mean, Terquavian and Jarkel, let's go out there and see if we can't.
Well, they can put up points. They got a big down low who can get it done, from inside out. And, they know their tempo. They know the speed they want to play at. There's nothing more dangerous than a team right now who, 1, can beat you from the outside, 2, knows the speed they want to play out. And if they have to go inside, right, they can do that.
Yeah. All right, so you're going to NC State. Is Bama your favorite coming out of this?
I picked Bama to win the Natty before this was even seeded.
Okay. All right, mine, guys, I'm gonna go a little wild here, and I've been feeling this team, even though I'm not in love with the matchup. Furman and Virginia. Yeah. Furman, the 13 seed, won their conference tournament after losing it, remember, to Chattanooga last year on a buzzer beater that John Baptiste hit almost at half court. All of their veterans came back. They could have transferred and gone SEC, Big 12, Big 10. They have 2 guys. I'm telling you right now, do not be shocked if Furman beats Virginia and then has a chance to beat San Diego State and slips up and makes the Sweet 16. I don't think they can come out of the region. I'm going to take Arizona coming out of this region. I think Arizona is a big matchup problem for Alabama. They can play fast. They've gotten better defending. It's a NATO meeting basically on the outside. I know they've had some injuries, but I like Arizona to come out of the South region there. All right, let's go ahead and pull up the East region right below that. Let's throw up the East region. This is the one with Purdue and that thing running around the middle. All right, Blaine, we'll start with you. Who is your 6 or higher seed you think could come out of here?
I mean, give me Memphis.
Going, yeah.
6 or higher. I mean, Kentucky always. Kentucky's starting to figure it out, which I'm surprised Kentucky was ranked in front of A&M when it comes to seeding. But give me Memphis. Memphis always has guys running around the court who are good enough to play with anybody. Penny Hardaway. Give me them boys. Give me them boys and maybe make a run.
Kendrick Davis, absolutely freaking out right now for Memphis. You saw what they were able to do against Houston yesterday. Are you rolling with Purdue in this? Do you like Purdue, or is there another? Is that who you got coming out?
I like Duke.
Man, I do too.
I like Duke. The way Duke.
I keep getting to Purdue and Duke in the Sweet 16, and I'm like, all right, Filipowski versus Edey. Can Filipowski kind of negate Edey where everything else is even? And if everything else is even, with the way Duke can play defense on the perimeter, I mean, Purdue already struggles to hit shots, including open shots, because of Zach Edey.
I think Roach will be the difference for Duke. That kid right now is really coming into his own. Veteran guy. He wants the ball in his hand when it matters. I want a guy like that on my team, especially in the tournament.
David, 6 seed or above, who do you like here?
At 6 seed or above, I'll take Kentucky. I think Kentucky can come in here and do a lot of damage. I really do think top to bottom, this may be the strongest region. When you talk about some of these quadrants here, just listen to this. Purdue, Memphis, and Florida Atlantic all in the same quadrant, right? Then you got Kentucky, Providence, and Kansas State in the same quadrant. Michigan State, USC, and Marquette. I mean, it's incredible here, the amount of parity that's coming out of every single region, but especially here. And then we haven't even really talked about the 4-seeded Tennessee.
Yeah.
I mean, sandwiched in between all of these other teams, Providence can be a problem. Again, 8-9, Memphis, Florida Atlantic. To your point, the 8-9 matchups are so tight across the board. It's a coin flip with every single one. Memphis, Florida Atlantic, Maryland, West Virginia, Iowa, Auburn, and Arkansas, Illinois.
Yeah, that's what they're supposed to be. They did such a good job on that. It's supposed to be a coin flip. To me, when I look at a team 6 or above, I got to go with Memphis. I think they're playing so well right now. Offensively, they've been able to figure out, it's a big part. It's been Kendrick Davis, him and Lomax playing off each other, and we know they got some trees below. We know they have length, but I feel like FAU got screwed. I feel like FAU 31-3. Not saying that the 9 seed was crazy, but I feel like them and Memphis. Memphis is such a bad matchup for them because if you look at FAU, they're guard heavy. They're not really big. They got 2 guys over 6'4" that play. Memphis is going to have the length on them, and Memphis can run. FAU wants to run and shoot threes, drive and kick. They play a similar style to what Nate Oates and Alabama want to run, but they don't have that big guy. I feel like FAU could not have drawn a worse style team and a team that is playing well right now. And then I tell you what, as much as I do like Duke, and I've got them in some of the brackets, like I say, I fill out a bunch of brackets. There'll only be a couple that I use as official, and then obviously the main one I'll use for our bracket challenge, which we're going to be releasing the link today. Be ready for that. We want as many people to sign up as possible. We'll get to what you can win and all that other stuff later. But I'm going to go Purdue to get out of here. Just come, Zach Edey. All right. I feel like Purdue. If Cochran Wren, that backup, can come in, and there's going to be a game where he gets in some foul trouble early. Can you escape that game if you're Purdue? That's what I think it's going to come down to. But God, Duke is just
don't sleep on Michigan State either.
Yeah, man. Tom
is our team in the tournament's going to play well. I know, but the only it takes is one game to really get going. There's a coach I trust in the tournament, it's that man.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at this USC game with Drew Peterson and Boogie Ellis. I mean, that's not going to be a walk in the park either. I mean, it's going to be a hell of a matchup. All right, let's go ahead and move on. We're going to get to the Boosh Club, and we have live calls. Get ready to call in. I want to hear from Texas A&M fans. How pissed are you guys? Because I would be absolutely furious. We're going to get to that in a minute. Let's pull up the Midwest. Let's go Midwest bracket right here, where Houston is hosting. All right, Coney, let's start with you. Give me a 6 seed or above that you think can make a run in this one.
I really like Pittsburgh a lot. Now, they're going to have a tough play-in game from the very jump here against Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Also, like you said, Texas A&M at 7 is not a bad pick. 7 seed is just way too low for a team that finished second in the SEC in the regular season and in the conference tournament. But you know what? Last year, you were on the outside looking in. At least you're in the tournament. You got a good matchup here against Penn State to start. You're in. To my point earlier, you could just go win. Go win and put everything else aside. So, but 6 or lower, man, I really do like this Pittsburgh team.
Yeah, Jeff Capel, they've had a hell of a year. Are you feeling Houston coming out of this? If Marcus Sasser, we got to see how that groin injury is. He's player of the year, and you saw him against Memphis. Shed is really nice. Jarris Walker is nice, but God, without Sasser, you feel like Sasser's kind of the straw that stirs the drink.
For sure. And then I'm just looking at Miami, man, with that Norshad Omier kid.
Yeah.
Like the leading rebounder for Miami. That changes the dynamic completely.
Ankle injury.
I was really looking at them to make a deep, deep run. But now I don't know. I don't know what his health's going to be like, and I don't know if we're even going to find out. I mean, that 5-12 matchup against Drake at the very jump here, that's no walk in the park. I do like Houston to come out, but again, to your point, man, what are the injuries going to be like? We just saw Memphis really just have their way with them in the conference tournament.
Yeah, it scored 46 points in one half. Again, there's some.
You don't see that against Houston.
No, and again, Sasser. Look, you take the Conference Player of the Year off any team, and that's going to change them. But especially with Houston and with their depth situation and how they play. And those groins, man, if you've ever had a groin injury, those things just don't go away, especially in college basketball.
And then Texas down there, too. At the
TC.
That's a problem.
A lot of people are picking Colgate over Texas. Colgate is really short. Okay, like I'm just telling you, like Texas, you talk about length and rebounding, Allen and all those guys, they'll have a field day down low in the front court. Blaine, what are you feeling? Give me a 6 or higher seed that you feel like can make a run.
Give me the Fighting Bruce Pearls.
Just say it.
Give me the Auburn Tigers.
Let's get it out of the way.
Give me the Auburn Tigers. The Auburn is one of those teams that can get hot at the right moment. If Wendell comes out shooting, I mean, you got Broome. If KD Johnson comes out hitting well, if Allen Flanagan learns how to dribble his right hand, a lot of good things can happen. But I'm looking around right now. They're going to have a scary first game with Iowa.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of white kids who can shoot.
Yeah.
Which you're going to be afraid of no matter where you are. But Miami banged up. Houston, good, but Houston's had a couple stretches in the season where they don't score a lot of points. If Auburn can get hot behind the arc, run teams, I think they have a chance to make a little run here, maybe Indiana late. The scariest thing if you're Auburn is Miami. Remember last year, every time you run into Miami, it's not a good situation.
Yeah.
Give me Auburn.
Well, look, I've got no expectations of Auburn winning. Iowa will shoot 70% from 3. Auburn, here's what will happen. Auburn will play good in the first half and then blow it in the second half. Because this Auburn team, when it comes down to clutch shooting, they just don't have that gene. Maybe they can find it. Maybe walking around, maybe it's underneath an Egg McMuffin or something. I don't know. But they haven't shown it the whole year.
But I do like Texas coming out of the Midwest.
All right, here's my thing about Texas A&M. I feel like, and this is no excuse for it. Last year when A&M didn't make the tournament and Buzz Williams came out and was like, I want to find out who's on the committee and like what they're looking at. And Texas A&M, rightfully so, was bashing the committee. Now, these are human beings, and I feel like there was some retribution on Texas A&M for the problems that the committee caused, which is ridiculous. There's no way in hell with a net of 19, and I know net is one of the many factors they use in determining where teams are. But somebody explain to me how in the hell that Kentucky is a 6 seed and Texas A&M is a 7 seed when Texas A&M finished second in the SEC in the regular season, finished second in the NCAA tournament, had a better record in everything than Kentucky. Explain to me how that happens. Yeah. I think this is the committee taking a personal shot at A&M, which is just another reason why I feel like we should have actual basketball people on these committees. We should have actual football people on the College Football Playoff Committee. I don't care if you're an athletic director. I don't care if you're the president of the school. I know more about sports than you. There are a lot more people out there who know more about, especially specific sports, than that person. We need to have those people making the decisions. This and Rutgers being left out was the 2 most egregious things, I think, coming down to it when it comes to the committee. Outside of that, I think they did a good job. But I think Texas A&M is going to use this as fuel. I think Texas A&M is going to be pissed off when they show up. They already play pissed off, but this gives Buzz Williams just another chip on the shoulder moment. But that Penn State matchup is not going to be a walk in the park. Pickett is really nice. He can back you down regardless of how physical of a guard you are on defense. You look at Lundy, who can get hot. We saw what he did at the end of the Purdue game. The only thing is the post with Penn State, they don't have a ton of depth there. They're not super talented. I feel like A&M with Marble could take advantage of them down there. So A&M would be my sleeper. But guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been riding with Houston. I'm going to stick with them right now because I'm going to assume that Sasser is going to be healthy. So that's what I'm going with right now. It could change because that's a big dynamic there. But let's go ahead and move on to the West. Remember, guys, we are taking calls. This is the last region we're going over. We are taking calls. It's 1-855-236-3228. I don't even need the number up there anymore. It's locked in. All right, I've been taking photos with it. All right, the West region, where Kansas, who should, in my opinion, have been where Houston is, where they could have hosted in Kansas City. I feel like they earned that, but that's neither here nor there. You're a 1 seed. Let's start with you, Coney. Give me a 6 or higher you think could come out of here.
Man, there's a lot of interesting scenarios here. You got Arkansas and Illinois in the 8-9 matchup like we were talking about.
Who the hell knows?
Yeah, I mean, VCU at 12. VCU,
Man.
you're looking for a 5-12 situation here. I don't know. St. Mary's, they tied the regular season tournament with Gonzaga, right? I like VCU to maybe do some damage there. Northwestern's interesting at 7 as well, but you're going to have to face up with UCLA early. You got Gonzaga there at the 3 seed, so I don't know. This one's tight, man.
This one is tight. Are you feeling Kansas coming out of this? You believe in Kansas going to get out of here?
I don't know. I really have liked UCLA for the past couple weeks, but what Arizona did to them in the Pac-12
losing Jalen Walker hurts.
I don't know. So I'm still thinking through some things right now. Again, what can Gonzaga do? Also TCU. I mean, if we're talking 6 or lower, TCU can seriously be a problem there. Just like any team from the Big 12.
Yeah, well, man, that's who I was looking at. I mean, I really like, with the Jalen Clark injury, I called him Jalen Walker. The Jalen Clark injury for UCLA kind of opens him up a little bit. I do like TCU. I think TCU beats Gonzaga in the second round.
TCU is really good.
I think TCU beats Gonzaga. Mike Miles, Lampkin down low. You got some guys that can shoot. I think TCU is kind of sneaky here, but I do like Kansas coming out. Grady Dick, I think you're going to end up having Kansas versus UCLA. I think UCLA is going to be able to get by TCU in the Sweet 16. Kansas beats them in the Elite 8 just because Jalen Wilson is such a dog. I just trust him. There's some guys I just trust. I don't trust Grady Dick, to be honest with you. I think it comes and goes with Grady Dick, but I trust Jalen a lot when it comes down to it. Jalen Wilson, my only thing that scares me is Kansas in the low post. Can Uday Jr. come in if KJ, who's not overly big, is kind of getting manhandled and it's not working down there, he gets in foul trouble. But I do like Kansas. Blaine, give me a 6 or higher you like coming
Give me
out
the Razorbacks, man. Give me the Razor. I mean, you got a lottery pick at Nick Smith Jr.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you got Anthony Black at the point, Ricky Counselor. They have guys, man. I feel like Arkansas's underperformed this season, but let them get going in the tournament. If they get hot earlier, if they lean on Nick Smith, if he's hitting jumpers, if they play through Nick Smith and they rebound well in the post, they can play with anybody, including Kansas.
Yeah, 2 of the best in-tournament coaches are in this region. Eric Musselman at Arkansas and Mick Cronin at UCLA. 2 guys who really, really know how to win in the tournament. Then you got Mark Few as well, who knows how to win in the tournament.
And you got UConn sitting there at a 4 seed. Remember,
Sanogo,
this team started 14
beat
and
Bama.
14-0, beat Bama. Then they lost 6 of 8. Now I think they've won 6 of the last 7 to end the regular season, something like that. UConn sitting at the 4.
Hey, YouTube, appreciate you guys checking us out. Do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Turn that notification bell on and hit that like button. It helps us more than you know.